All set?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for being here today. I'm Michael Maggiano with the firm of Maggiano di Girolamo and Brizzi. On Friday, this past Friday, we filed in the Bergen County Superior Court a class action on behalf of named individuals, but more importantly, on behalf of all of those exposed at HealthPlus in Saddlebrook, New Jersey on Midland Avenue. HealthPlus is a surgery center, an ambulatory center, as you all know. Each of the clients received a notice right around Christmas Eve that they may have been exposed at the time of their visit to HealthPlus Surgery Center in Saddlebrook to hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and or HIV by way of bloodborne pathogens through tools, surgical tools, needles, materials. I'm sure most of the reporters here have received a copy of the state report, which is filled with violations at all levels. So this concern has brought these people to my office. We've been retained so far by about 20 people, and we're getting calls literally by the minute, actually. And everybody with the same sad story: what do I do now? How do I handle this? How do I handle things with my family? And we have the folks here. I know you want to speak to them individually. And one of the things I wanted to share with you, which I did at the beginning when I introduced myself earlier off camera, is that everyone received a notice and to go to to get a lab test. And they were invited to go to a lab facility and have a test, and if they went to this lab facility, their bill would be paid by HealthPlus. What we have learned through one of my patients who went Friday for her lab test, and she got there a little late. They were closing for New Year's Eve, and so she sat and studied the papers a little more closely. And when she looked at the papers, she noticed that LabCorp listed HealthPlus with its account number, and rather than a doctor that she knew, a certain doctor's name was listed on the form, and I have a copy of the form back here. She sat with her smartphone and began to do some research and learned that that doctor is a department head at Hudson Regional Hospital. She did a little more research on who's Hudson Regional Hospital and found out that the owners of Hudson Regional Hospital are related to the owners of HealthPlus Surgical Center. That bothered her. Who and why would my test results be going to anyone other than my doctor? And why to them first and not me? And why a doctor who's not an infectious disease doctor? And why this doctor? So the worry and the concern even mounts greater, as you could well imagine. I've asked each of the clients who are here today to come with those notices, and each and every one of them has a similar notice with the same form, same doctor, not their doctor, and they didn't really realize it until I pointed it out to them. And one of the things we want to get out today is this. This is really, really serious to you, of course, those of you who received this letter, those of you who were patients there. You may want to think about going to a doctor and a lab of your choice. It is unfortunate that HealthPlus has said, we will only pay if you go to who we tell you to go to. If you go to somebody else, you have to pay for the studies. I think that's unfortunate that they've taken that position. I think it's hard on people who have already suffered, that now they have to pay for lab studies. All of you know what those bills are like. Those of you who are fortunate enough to have health coverage That's one thing. But those who do not have health coverage, something else, especially at this time of the year where, frankly, money's tight for everybody, isn't it? So that's a concern, and if I were to invite those that have the say at HealthPlus, rethink what you've said to your patients, and rethink about how you've approached the lab reports and the lab studies, and who's to pay, and under what circumstances. Let me tell you about what we have filed. We have filed the class action. It was filed Friday. And why a class action? There are 3,700 potential plaintiffs, yes? Everyone who was exposed has a right to be part of the class, because everyone who's been exposed has now suffered the worry and the concern of what is going on inside of me. Everyone has spent a very unpleasant Christmas holiday, New Year's, and in many instances separating themselves from their family, from their loved ones, husbands from wives, wives from husbands, life partners, domestic partners, significant others. No one has had a pleasant holiday. With a worry and concern as to what's going on inside of me, and will somebody who is close to me suffer as well? It's a big worry, isn't it? And it carries with it, God willing, all or most will not have been so diagnosed. But it does, receiving the letter alone carries with it a stigma, yes? And so they have all suffered. And the law says, even if you do not suffer the condition, the exposure is enough to cause hurt, worry, and harm. And any doctor in infectious disease will tell you that not only do you need one test, you should come back every 3 months for the first year, and it should be followed up. Certainly at least twice in the first year. So that has not been made clear, and I'm sure it wasn't made clear to any of you, that there should be follow-ups. And so the worry continues. And the worry will not end even if you get your first lab report and it's okay. We have a group of people, all have received the same notice about the same exposure at the same facility, and they're told it's from January to September 7th. But why January to September 7th? Why not December till September 7th? Why not November? What's the basis for that? That's one of the things we're going to be exploring in our litigation. We understand that it wasn't HealthPlus that decided to close and revamp its procedures and policies and practices. It was the health department. The health department, based on information it received, who went in there, investigated. And so I think there's a lot of answers we need as to when is the cutoff. How far back do we go? And that's one of the things we intend to explore. That will have to take place during the litigation, during what we call discovery. And we're going to be sending a number of questionnaires to the defense and taking a number of depositions regarding that. So we have a large group of people, and one might ask, why a class action? What if everybody sued individually? Well, potentially that's 3,700 lawsuits. That's a massive amount of lawsuits. We chose Bergen County to file because HealthPlus is in Bergen County. It's a very large facility in our county, and I do believe that a Bergen County jury would be the proper jury to hear the issue. Many of the people are from New Jersey, but a number who have called me are coming in from Jamaica, Nanuet, the Bronx. I think I received a call from someone from Brooklyn. And so there are a number of New Yorkers who want to come in too. But the facility is here, and it's a healthcare facility in our backyard, in Bergen County, in New Jersey, and I think therefore placing venue, as we call it, placing the litigation in the Superior Court of New Jersey and venued in Hackensack at the Bergen County Courthouse is appropriate. I have been practicing personal injury litigation, hospital and medical negligence for a good number of, not years, but decades. And I'm familiar with the courthouse, I'm familiar with the system, I'm familiar with the practice. And I say to you that in analysis, it is far better, both from a standpoint of economics and judicial efficiency, to file as a class and then let, once in a class, every individual have their own opportunity to be heard within the action. So that's what I have to share with you today, and I welcome any questions you have. And if you have questions of those who have come with me here today, my clients, Mr. Arenas, Mrs. Arenas, Ms. Irons, and Mrs. Clifton, Ms. Clifton. So I welcome your questions. So in meeting all these people, you ask the question, what are you looking for, you know? And time again, these three words essentially come through. These are my words, but it's an interpretation of what I'm getting. The first is truth, and that I'm getting from everybody. We just want the truth. The second really is transparency. Just tell us what really happened and how it happened. It didn't happen because of two people. You fired two people, you reopened. That's not why this happened. This is an insidious, and these are my words, this is an insidious systemic collapse of an institution. These things don't happen overnight, and they don't happen because of two workers. Usually, failures like this, the answers are at the top, the answers are at the board meetings, the answers are with those in control. And that is our hope to accomplish transparency and truth through this litigation. And finally, why the judicial process? Because the judicial process affords each and every one of the litigants accountability. And at the end of the day, that's what we all ask for, accountability. Thank you.
So can you tell us again how many people you represent, and have all of them gotten the test, and who was the earliest one that got the test, and you still waiting for these results?
I will tell you that as we speak, we have probably been retained by about 25, it could be 30 people. The calls are coming in, and they're similar stories. Most of the people, the great majority, have not gotten their test results. Some, like Crystal, went for the test, got there late, and then began to study it, and now is seeking the test through her own means. So the answer is, none of my clients have an answer as far as I know it. Now, information is coming in literally by the hour with our clients. So I wish I could be more specific. I can't. But as we speak, probably 25, 30 people have retained us. The calls are coming in. There's so many people. As the news gets out there of this, the concern mounts.
Does this bother you? I mean, they're uncertain about, if they were infected or not. If they are sick, they need medical attention as soon as possible. And the timing of everything. I mean, you're talking about people that probably went to this surgery center to get some kind of procedure even in January, and they're still trying to figure it out.
You know, like most counselors, whether you be the family doctor, whether you be the family lawyer, whether you be the family accountant, whether you be the family priest, people come to you for answers and really need answers. And I don't know what to tell these people. Will I be okay? What can I say to them? You know? And if the first test comes back, am I in the clear? Look at the news I have to give them. So it's my job is in the courtroom, and what I'm asking my clients to do is to stay strong. I wish I had a better answer for them now, but all I can say is stay strong and allow me and my law firm to fight for you at the Bergen County Courthouse.
Have anybody tested positive so far?
None of my clients have, but most of them are still waiting on results.
And last question, what is the next step legally? Like what is the next step? What are you gonna do after?
Sure. We are, of course, have to serve the defense. They have to file an answer at the courthouse. As you know, today we have e-filing, electric filing in the New Jersey court system. So an answer to the complaint has to be filed, and then a lawyer will, on behalf of HealthPlus, will file an answer, and then what we call the discovery process will begin. I believe a case like this will be called in for what is called case management. A specific judge will take control of the cases, will take control of the class action, and a discovery plan will be put in place where we will ask written questions. They will ask my various clients written questions regarding what has happened to them. We proceed from there. After what we call paper discovery, the exchange of information in paper form, we will ask also for a production of documents regarding the policies and procedures. We understand a lot of this because of the state report, which has become public, as you know. So a lot of that is pretty clear, that what has happened here. But what remains is, we know what's happened. What remains is, why did it happen? Because if you don't have the answer as to why it happens again. It happens again. So that's where accountability comes in and transparency comes in. And we hope to accomplish that through the litigation process. The next step, after you've completed the exchange of documents, is what we call depositions, where we can question management, where we can question staff, and look at their testimony and compare the testimony. What does management have to say? What do the owners have to say? What do their employees have to say? Does it make sense?
And obviously after this press conference, do you expect more people to join the class action lawsuit, is that right?
I do believe so. I mean, there's 3,700 that we know of, yes? So I do believe that a lot of these people, as they take a second look or, you know, are numb now, right? When they collect themselves, they will be calling lawyers. We do this. We are concerned about it. We're in Bergen County. We filed in Bergen County. I'm expecting from my firm, on behalf of my firm, a number of calls. We're vetting the calls. We're making sure that the people qualify for the class. But as I said, I'm not going by January 1st to September. People are calling me and telling me I had a procedure in December. I had a procedure in November. I'm asking these people to come in. Let's take your information. Let's see what more we learn.
Thank you.
Okay?